Bring ourselves to any sitting position or even reclining right now for the next minute or so that works for your body. Preferably not the same sitting position you may have been in for hours today. If cross-legged is acceptable, but you want a little more support, you could always plug some blocks in underneath the knees or under the thighs. And we might just take a few moments as we're still arriving to wobble in, to rock in, find the seat that feels right for you, and maybe even notice, does it feel like you have rounding in the low back? So a little short in the front body. We might put a wedge, a little lift underneath the sits bones, and perhaps even hip hike, send butt bones, those sits bones a little bit further back, inviting that lower dotic or inward curve back into the low back. And we may be spinning palms to face up or palms to face down, which feels more instinctive to you in this moment. If we are face up, perhaps connecting thumb and index fingerprints. And the invitation is to soften the gaze. So that might be closing the eyes entirely, letting the eyes rest. It may be letting your focus go fuzzy, letting your focus go soft. Noticing perhaps the temperature of the air as we inhale in through the nostrils. Releasing, letting go of the exhale in any way that feels right for you, through the mouth, the nose, maybe a combination. And perhaps for the next breath cycle, we're observing the sound of the exhale. We may be coming to a closed mouth style of breath. And as we're breathing, notice if the body is seeking any kind of intuitive movement. We may not even have noticed that we started to sway or rock. Let that happen. Take a full deep inhale. Let it go through the mouth time, perhaps with a sigh. And over the next few breaths, observing the shape shift, the body's shape shift. Perhaps we feel the ribs stand wide as we inhale, softening, knitting inwards with the exhale. We may notice that as we bring our awareness to the breath, to body's shape changes with the breath cycles, that the breath may flourish under this attention. We might bring a little more awareness to breathing into the left side ribs, the right side ribs. We might explore in our mind's eye the idea of a circular breath. So perhaps that's inhaling up one side of the ribs and circling down and around the other ribs. We may reverse that, going the other way. We may sigh and nod the head. Remember that a head nod isn't just in one direction. Whichever direction you intuitively moved the head in, that is perfectly fine. How is the neck feeling? Let's spin palms to face up if they are not, starting to bring movement into the fingers. And then spinning the hands down so we're holding the knees. We may round down, tipping back, leaning back, widen the shoulder blades, and then rocking forward. Beam the sternum forward, let the chin rise. And as we exhale, rocking back, rounding back body, and then rolling forward. Give a little wobble, a little rock. Invite one elbow to bend. Whichever side you went to is perfectly fine. Hold that elbow up in the air. We might angle it a little further back behind the shoulder. We may nod the head. And perhaps we're reaching that arm up in the air or out to the side as the shoulder agrees to, and bringing movement into the fingers. We may find those little nods of the head and letting that arm come down. Take a moment, invite the shoulder to roll. And let's circle second direction. And let's pause, bending that second elbow. And just take a moment, check in. What are we noticing? Maybe side ribs. Maybe we lift the elbow a little higher. Maybe we move it a little further back. And we may reach that arm up in the air, bringing movement into fingers, maybe a little nod of the head. How are those side ribs? And then releasing, letting that arm come down. And we might roll out the shoulders and go the other way, moving shoulders in second direction. Let's switch to the other device. Oops, we have it back. Okay, so this heavy snow might be causing a little bit of lag. Let's expand that first arm back out to the side, bring movement into the fingers, palm facing forward, and then dial the palm to face up. Palm forward, palm down. We may keep going so that the head of the shoulder rolls forward, and then swivel the head of the shoulder back. So let movement go through the wrist, flourish through the fingers, kind of like a Bollywood arm. And now the head might be moving with the arm, just in any way that feels good to you. Let's invite that arm back up in the air. Go for lift, length, a little rotation towards that side. And then let's turn the chin opposite the up arm. We might place the opposite hand on the ground or a block. We might start to slide or walk the fingers out, tipping, leaning. Perhaps we're bending and extending that top elbow. And let's slowly come all the way back up. Give yourself a moment. There may be big sensation through the body. We might go back for some shoulder rolls, some head tilts. Let's find center, second side arm, expanding that arm out to the side, movement through fingers. Maybe a little nod in the head. How are we feeling in this forearm? So maybe this is your dominant side, the side you use your mouse with. Maybe there's some magical areas. So let's spin the palm down, palm back. Maybe we keep going and roll the shoulder forward. We might just be checking in. And then rolling the other way. Take your time, feel through it, flourishing through the wrist, the fingers, the forearm, flex the wrist. Let the head move. And next time we land in the less awkward position, let the arm reach up. Let's find a little rotation in that direction. Maybe some movement through the wrist, through the fingers, like you're twisting a light bulb tight and loose overhead. Square the chest and let's look in the opposite direction and consider that lean, that tip out to the side. Go for that length. Maybe we're bending and extending the top arm. And let's slowly come all the way back up. Let that hand land, let the eyes rest. Let the body sigh. With the shoulders, like a little more movement. Maybe we did a lot this weekend. Maybe we've just been sitting for hours. Reverse direction. And then notice the cross of your legs. Is it still acceptable to be in this position? If it is, we might be tipping forward, exploring a little bit of a forward lean. It might go right into that top leg. We might find a little sway, a little shift side to side. We may walk the elbows forward and support the brow. This can be a nice opportunity, closed eyes, to squeegee the brow. Massaging out any tension from the day. We can come right down to the temples. And we'll let ourselves rise back up. And we'll think about trading across the legs, but we'll take our time. Extend, reach out, go long. Give a little wiggle through the knees. And maybe we even take our fingers and go underneath the kneecaps. A little bit of a bear claw, self-massage to the inner knees, into that patella tendon right underneath. That usually feels pretty good. And then come to the outer knees. And as we slide the legs in, we're thinking about reversing the cross. So we may bring that second leg in front or on top. Looks like we have a big message. Can we make suggestions for alternative blocks? Absolutely. So as we cross the legs in that seat, rolled towels can make a nice alternative, as can rolled blankets. Of course, bath towels are usually thicker than beach towels, so they offer a little more flexibility in terms of height and firmness. So as we find that seat, we might find a little rock, a little wobble. You might even just look around and see what you have around your house. So many things, or the space you're in, so many things could be used as props. So let's spin palms to face forward in this orientation, and we'll take the arms high. We'll look up in the air. We're going for that lift, that length. And as we exhale, rotating, turning, twisting over to one side. So let's check in with the neck. Maybe we're dipping the chin towards the chest and enjoying a stretch in the side of the neck. Maybe that's not on the menu. We might prefer to keep the chin in the middle. What feels good to you in this moment? Let's inhale, bring the arms back up through center. And then exhale, rotating, turning, twisting to the second side. And we may find a little nod of the head. Full breath in belly. Soft jaw. Inhale, coming back to the middle. Thumbs to forehead, thumbs to heart. So from this position, maybe there's some intense sensation in the wrists and forearms with the hands fairly high. If not, pull the heels of the hands down level with the elbows while keeping the heels of the hands connected to one another. So this will be a bit more structured this first time. Glide the elbows over to one side. So if you took your elbows to the right, maybe we're turning head to the left, and notice what the right elbow is doing. If we tucked it in, it made it easier. And maybe we really want to make it easier, but we might open it up and appreciate the added challenge. Ooh, let's come back to center, letting the pressure off, perhaps with hands high. Draw the hands down. Slide the elbows to your second side. And maybe we're turning the head away. And we might find a little nod if that feels right in the body. And let's bring it back to the middle. Reaching the hands forward, circling. Let's move in second direction. And then landing hands at the heart. Consider again, is this acceptable to stay in the seat? Now, you don't have to have props underneath the knees. It's just an option. Sometimes it feels nice to do so. We might put props in front and start to find our way in. So you could stack cushions. You could maybe use a coffee table or a chair seat. You don't have to come down as low as blocks. You could be leaning on a chair seat. Imagine a chair seat here and not there on nothing, and leaning down. We might tip in. We may support the gradual. Full deep breathing. Notice the back ribs. Notice the side ribs. Notice the hips, and maybe that's what we're noticing the most in this orientation. And let's take a few moments to find our way back up. So as we're rising up, we're extending the legs, give a little wiggle through those knees, and our picture just got much, much smaller. Network bandwidth is low. I am unfamiliar with this happening, but I'm guessing it has to do with the heavy, fast falling snow. So we'll give that little wiggle through the hips. Now, how is it sitting in this position with legs extended? We can make it more comfortable. We could stay elevated on a folded blanket or a cushion, throw cushions. Those can make great props too from a sofa. Let's open the left arm out to the left. I'm mirroring. Looking straight out, try to keep that wrist about level with the shoulder and then sweep the arm forward. So let's overreach for a moment. Extend through the shoulder like you're reaching forward, trying to grab something in front. And then dial the shoulder back. So we're going to keep the shoulder blade on the back and extend the right arm out to the right. So same thing on this side. We're bringing that right hand forward, and then just for fun, overreach, just so we feel that. Ooh, and dial both shoulders back. Both shoulder blades are on the back. Take a moment, we're breathing. Let both arms open out to the side. Flex the hands. And maybe we let go of that pretty quickly. We might flex and release. And we're bringing the hand slowly, slowly down to the ground. So your hands are landing on the floor, and we might walk the hands a little bit back. So we're rocking back, shoulder towards one another. Lifting heart, lifting chest. Finding the spot that works for you. You're listening to the wrist. And let's slowly walk the fingers in. So as we bring the fingers in, let's bend the knees. We have our hands behind the back. Now your fingers do not have to be pointing to the hips. Could be out to the side. It might be behind you, whichever feels comfortable. Let both knees fall to one side. So we might be turning, twisting to the right. Maybe your knees are stacked. Maybe the knees are separated. Breathing into that rotation, into the twist. Now, if bearing weight on the wrist, on the hand like this just isn't on the menu, you could always stacking props, forearm to the ground. You could bring your forearm onto props or to the floor. And let's slowly, slowly bring the knees back to the middle. And let the knees tip to the second side. So we're tipping, we're leaning into the twist. Breathing around the belly. And let's bring it back to the middle. Perhaps we're lifting, swaying the hips to one side, and try this again on that first side. So we've been sitting straight ahead all day. Maybe we had a little reach side to side, but probably we haven't given ourselves a moment to really sink into a delicious twist and savor the sensations. Let's bring it to the middle. Take it around to that first side one more time. Letting that top hand go where it feels right for you. It could be on your leg, either leg could be on the ground. And let's very gently come back to the middle. So we might scoot forward on the ground, and perhaps we slowly come down onto back body. Inviting both arms out to the side in a T position. Slide the shoulder blades down the back. Now, T position does not necessarily preclude bending elbows. So if it just feels better to put a little bend in the elbows, please do. Turn the nose tip to one side. Keep the opposite shoulder grounded. Notice what we feel and where. Very slowly roll the nose tip back to the middle, and we'll give the head just a little rock. Roll the nose over towards that second side. Feel the movement of the ribs as we breathe. Notice the shoulder, the neck. What about the jaw? Can we find more ease through the jaw? Very gently let the head wobble back to the middle. Let's draw both knees into the chest, and we might just rock side to side. We may draw figure eights or circles. Listen to your low back. And then take a moment to dust the feet, raising one leg up in the air. Flex, point the foot, push up through the heel, swap, point up through the toes, go back and forth. Start to circle the ankle around. Circle, second direction. Release the foot to the ground. Rocking second knee into the chest. And we might just pause and give a little wobble rock. Feeling this in the sacrum, the low back. Let the leg reach up in the air. Flex, point, push up through the heel, point up through the toes. Swirl the ankle around. Reverse, feel the rotation slowly in the second direction. Rebending and releasing the foot to the ground. Let's step the feet wide, let the knees tip in. The eyes to rest. Bend the elbows, hook the thumbs, palms face up. Slide the arms up and overhead. So we're lengthening through those side ribs. Heel toe, feet in. Carefully slide that right leg long. Maybe you have your water bottle or a fur friend nearby. Second leg, slide it long. How does this feel through your hips, your low back? Press down through the heels. The low back is arching off the ground. Reach up through the fingers. So you're pushing out through the heels. And then exhale, soften. Consider sliding the little toe side of that right foot up and in. Rocking the right knee into the chest, and we may weave the hands around the front of the shin. Now, we want this area, or we could use an arm extender, roll up a towel or a blanket, a sheet, put it around the shin. And we might find a little rock, a little wobble. Lay right foot to the ground. Slide left foot in as we send the right leg long. So this is our second side. Finding a little rock, a little wobble. Let's land the foot. Start to slide both legs long, and this time take the legs wide, and we might find a little rock through the heels. Rock through the legs, and then find a moment of stillness. Slide little toe side of that left foot up and in. Spin the knee up towards the ceiling. Fan the toes wide, release them. We may slide toe side of the just it blows up or spun. We are back, we are spotlighted. And we are getting very heavy wet snow today. So we were sliding that prop into place. And first and foremost, we're just breathing, right? It is all a practice. So we may land and ask ourselves, does this work for us? Some of us have very sensitive sacrums, and maybe the prop is too hard or too high. Feel free to lower it to find something softer. Breathing in. 2, 3, we do seem to be frozen again. No video. Let's say start video here, but I think that's going to be the background, but I can get rid of background. Choose virtual backgrounds and none. So that will put us in this room. And I can see a lot in the chat, so we pop over there, you got it. So I think here's a choice. This is going to be spotlight for everyone. Do we like this view? It's not as great as the one on the tripod, is obviously having a problem. Or I can see if this gets better to replace the spotlight, and maybe that worked. So this is the tripod, fine now, okay, so it just required me to go back and forth like that. Okay. So I will keep my eye over there, hopefully, Mark hasn't got any, so we shall see. This one. We'll stick with this one. I think this one is working, lagging and pausing. Yeah, I think it is these weather conditions. I have Starlink. I wonder if I can send the host to another device. To the other device. And now we're sideways. It seems fine now. I apologize for our technical difficulties. I see question and answer. Very laggy, cannot see me. Yes, I know this. Let's see the other option here. I can keep going, or I can play with the tech and see if I can get it better. You see, okay, see and hear. So with your prop, same thing we did before. You're drawing your knee into your chest, and we might send that other leg long. So this might feel like a really big stretch in the front of the long leg hip. We might find a little rock through that one knee. Even though I check our tech over here, the invitation is really to keep that nose tip overhead. And this is definitely one of those times where it is a practice, right? So we're letting one foot come down. and then bringing the other up and in. And we might be finding those little rocks, and maybe we're noticing more tension in the front of one hip, one thigh. Full breathing into belly. Let the body sigh. You can always stay longer. So we may step the long leg in, release the opposite foot to the ground, fan the toes. Feel those toes open wide and release. Lift the hips, slide your prop out, and we may glide side to side, gradually lowering the hips, but we're also kind of lengthening the hips away from the shoulders. And then pause in what feels like a symmetrical position. And I tend to use contraction in the back. So you're pressing the hips away from the shoulders and you're rolling, articulating down the low back, landing the waistband of your pants, maybe you already did. Hips land. Feet have been grounded, but we'll feel a little less engagement in the front of the thighs. Let's invite that right arm overhead. We're going for length. Extend your right leg long. Bring the left side of the right foot down to the ground. Press into the left foot so you can move your hips, sway them more to the left to facilitate rolling over. And we might just pause in the middle. I'm creating the lag, that lag. And we'll bring ourselves onto elbows, onto forearms, lift the sternum, lift the heart. We might find a little side to side sway. How is that front body feeling? Maybe we have some tension in the abdomen. Point the toes, we may lift a little higher. And then releasing down, brow to the ground. Plant the hands, let the chest rise. Not have to extend the arms fully. You're listening to your wrist, your back, your elbows. Rolling back down to the ground, sweep the feet together. Inhale, chest rising. And exhale, releasing. We're planting the hands, pressing hips back towards heels, child's pose. So we may be bringing our forehead to, that might be adding more stress to the neck. So grabbing anything you have nearby that will work as a prop. Could be your block, a ball, a blanket. We might creep the fingers a little further forward. Breathing into shoulders. And we may slide those hands in. And let's think about a side bend. So we will do both sides if there's any lag. Just know that you are welcome to move on to that second side. We'll lift the ribs up and over one thigh, and we may walk the hands forward, stacking one hand on top of the other potentially so that we can anchor it and lean away. So if the hands went left, you might lean the right hip more right. Let's find the middle. And we'll think about coming to that second side. So we'll walk one hand and then the other, stacking, pinning, breathing into the side ribs. And then gradually finding our way back to the middle. And you may want a blanket for cushion for the knees. So we might be tucking the blanket, coming to hands and knees. We may tuck the toes and round the back. We might give a little wobble. We may keep some hands. So we are rounding the back, going back and forth with cat-cow. Feels right for you in your body. And then from cat-cow, let's find a neutral spine. Toes are tucked under. Listen to your toes. We're moving the hips back towards the heels. Now, I don't know how often a lot of us do this toe stretch. So we're fanning the toes, we're widening the little toes so that they don't get squished under, they get in on the stretch. So go to either side. You can keep your hands low. If you do this a lot, if it feels pretty good to sit up high, sit high, we might tuck and even go low rider, bring more stretch into the front of the thighs. Of course, release that at any point. Point the feet. We may want the feet on the padding, on the cushion, if we're sitting back into a kneeling position. We may be taking the hands again behind the back. We may raise one shin. Ooh, that's a fun stretch in the top of the foot. Shin down. We may raise the other shin. Maybe we like both knees up at the same time and we find a little wobble. And we'll slowly, slowly bring those hands in. Consider tucking the toes and rolling up to stand. So we might use a chair seat, use an ottoman, a balance ball in lieu of blocks to keep your hands up higher. You could use stacked books. We might be tipping forward, leaning in. We may be nodding the head. So take your time enjoying your forward bend. And from that forward bend position, put a little bend in the knees. We may bring forearms to thighs and take a moment to come up to stand, perhaps sweeping the arms high, arms up and overhead. Thumbs to forehead, thumbs to heart. So let's just clear our mat. If we have any potential trip hazards, we might move them off the mat. And we'll take the feet, let's say semi-wide, not your absolute widest, and just find a little lean, a little bend in each knee. So lunging, lateral lunge to one side and then the other. Remember having our hands together and we slid our hands to one side and we turned the head. So as we move with the hands, we'll do that, but we might make it more watery, kind of like a snake slithering and they're swimming really in the mangroves. Make it more serpentine, but then we may pause, find a pause point, bring it back to the middle, try out that second side. We might even fold the elbow in and notice how it feels. Does it shift it up? How does it feel in the inner thighs? So we'll come back up to stand, spin one foot forward. I'm going to continue with the mirroring. So let's say it's your right foot, whichever one you're on is fine. And we might just be rocking forward and back, moving through the feet, bending into the knee. We may add the back leg arm. So we might find a little swing with that back leg arm. The arm may rise. We may find stillness with the legs. We might use the opposite hand to elongate the back leg arm. Press the palm to face up to the ceiling, pointing the fingers opposite. So if it is your left arm in the air, the fingers point right. We're reaching up, and that may be plenty of stretch, feeling on our back body. And we might tip lean over towards the right. Rising up, let that hand come down. Pivot around. Take a moment, step switch, pivot, whatever works for you. And we'll just start to find a little movement through the feet, the hips, the knees. How's the sole of that back foot? And we may find a place where we're comfortable swinging that outside arm. Just take your time. You don't have to go anywhere else, but we might raise the arm. We may drop the back heel. We may hold. We might use the other arm, get a little boost, and then press the heel of the hand towards the ceiling. So your palm is facing up like you have a saucer on the palm of the hand. And we might tip lean towards that or your front knee side, whichever side it happens to be. And let's come all the way back up. Pivoting the feet forward, heel toe the feet in. So not all the way together, just a little less wide. And take a moment and let the arms swing. So there's a gentle knock on the belly and a gentle knock on the low back. We might decide to take that up to the chest, the shoulders. We may be rocking, pivoting onto the heels. Taking your time, finding what's comfortable for you, and then slowing it down. As we find the middle, consider heel toeing the feet a little bit wider. And we might put some bend in the knees, flex in the knees, so that you can slide down for a wide-legged forward bend. So we'll land the hands, we'll reach the hips high. We may dip in, pour in. We may nod the head. We may circle the head. We may glide the hips a little bit, side to side to side. We may let the body sigh. Take your time breathing into back body. And then gradually walking those hands forward. Let's to your right. Point right toes to the right and bend into that right knee. So we're going for a lateral lunge. Maybe the hips lift a little and sink a little. There doesn't have to be movement. Back to the middle, pivot the toes to the second side, and we may lift and sink. We may just hold. And let's bring it back up to the middle, extending the legs, and perhaps we tip in a little deeper. We may very slowly, gently nod, circle nod the head, pouring tension from the shoulders, from the jaw, from the neck down into the ground. Walking the hands forward will rise part way up. Now you might want some kind of prop for this, your block or block substitute. We may land the hand, pivot to the right, angle the knee to the right, and bring right hand to right thigh, right hip. We may raise that right arm up in the air. We may flex the hand. Now this might be more intense than when we did it through the other lunge. We might have to go back and forth. Releasing, pivot toes forward, take your time. Angle left toes out, put a bend in that left knee, maybe left hand on left thigh, turning belly button a little more left. Keep the right quadriceps, front of the thigh muscles, keep those muscles engaged. We may raise the left arm up. We may flex, maybe this side is different. And then gradually, slowly coming down, tipping back in, walking the hands back. We may find nod, circle nod of the head. Let's bring the hands forward, come part way up, heel, toe, feet in. Put a little bend in the knees, forearms to thighs, take your time, hips sink low, we're rooting to rise. Let the arms rise, thumbs to forehead, thumbs to heart. Let's try a one-legged standing balance, possibly wall. Feel free to come to a wall. Left foot forward, right foot back. Tuck the toes. So we may stay here, we may open both arms, we may take those arms wide, tipping back. Release, we may bend the knee and decide to hold the cuff of your pants, use a strap or hold your foot with your hand. We may take standing leg arm up in the air. And releasing, shifting it out. Second side. So we'll take the second foot back and we keep the toes as they are. Hips forward. Maybe we have both palms facing forward, legs on the back. We might bring a hand back to the wall and raise the foot. We may hold the foot, we may take that opposite arm up in the air. And releasing, let the foot come down, let the hand come down, shift it out. Bring both hands out to the side. Start to take the arms a little wider, angle the fingers back, turn the chin to one side, find a little nod. As we move forward, point the fingers in. As we move the hands back, the chin moves to that second side. So into the middle, open the hand into the opposite side. As we move the hands to the middle, palms are still trying to press down, fingertips may point in. We're keeping the nose forward. Then we'll turn the head to that second side where we angle the fingertips back. After you've done that second side again, releasing, letting it go, shift it out. We'll come to the top short edge of the mat. Consider spinning both palms forward. The arms may rise, the gaze may rise. We may exhale, tip it forward, forward fold, and perhaps we walk the feet back into one down face dog. We may pedal the feet, shift the hips. We may tilt the head side to side. We may land the heels and hold if it feels good. You can always drop to your knees, come to child's pose instead. Breathing into side ribs. Feeling breath in back ribs. We may wiggle the feet further back, rock on forward, land the knees. Let's come all the way down to the belly. We may walk the elbows back in, lifting up into that Sphinx position. We can stay with this. We might bend a knee. We may lift that whole thigh knee, take it a little further back. We can hold the bend. We don't have to do anything else. You're listening to your back, your hips, your front body. Now, maybe we're going to point, if it's your right knee, point your left fingers to the right. Swap it if you're the other way around. We may grab the top of that right foot and hug the heel towards the hip. This is a lot. It's a lot in the shoulder. Might be a lot in your knee. You want to be careful you're not pushing your knee out to the side. We may roll the head of that shoulder down towards the ground and release. We can come back to Sphinx and bend the other knee. Lift the whole thigh, lengthen the knee backwards. We can stick with the knee bend. Breathing. You don't have to do the hand thing. We might point the fingers towards bent knee side of the mat and grab the foot. We may hug the foot closer to the hip, rolling the head of the shoulder down, forward and down, and releasing. Walk the forearms forward, option to support the brow, option to turn the nose tip to one side, what feels best for now in this moment. Planting the hands, rolling back, pressing back into a child's pose. Breathing around the ribs. Sliding the hands back. Slowly rolling up. We'll plant a seed. And we'll think again about things that we might use as props. So again, rolled up towel can be perfect. One of the things I've done with towels before, don't use duct tape for this if you like the towel and don't want duct tape residue on it. The blue kind of painter's tape does work well. You might roll up a towel if you want to keep it in a particular shape and wrap that tape around it. But again, don't use duct tape if you don't want duct tape residue. So let's make our way onto back body. Have your prop nearby. And we may take the elbows out to a goal post or cactus position, fan the toes, curl the hips up. Let the hips rise as we reach the knees forward. Notice if the knees are kind of winging or butterflying. And maybe they need to because that's the most comfortable position for them. And then slowly, slowly roll it back down. Let's gather the hands in. Find your prop and put it between the upper inner thighs and find a little embrace. Try to keep your nose tip up towards the ceiling instead of turning the head. So right foot, let's keep it grounded as we hug our prop, hips stay grounded. Lift that left leg up in the air. Just kind of notice, are your thighs level? Maybe the left leg's a lot lower, the hips a lot lower. Maybe we drop the prop. Just kind of take a moment, check in. Do we have even weight through the hips? Let the left foot come down, second side is coming. Let that second leg come up. And what's happening? Usually the leg, the hip lag a little bit, the extended side. And then rebending. Let's check out the hands. So bend the elbows so we kind of feel like we're doing the robot, palms face in, plug the elbows down, lift the hips. Now you're not pushing the hips up so high that the low back feels sensitive. Back it off if that's the case. Hug your prop. We might drop the prop. Lift the left leg. Try to level the hips. It's a little more challenging. Put the left foot down, a little more challenging than when the hips are on the ground. Let that second leg rise. Try to find level. Rebend, release. Feet are on the ground. We're not releasing the prop, but maybe we want to take our fingers to the neck. How's the neck doing with this? Moment to breathe. And let's consider a repeat. We'll start with the second leg this time, or the one we didn't start with before. So we'll lift the hips, and if that's the right leg, raise the right leg. Right foot down. Second leg lifts. Releasing and lowering. Particularly challenging, and you really want to repeat, feel free to repeat. It also could be enough to just try it out and see what happens. And then we'll slide the prop out of the way. Give yourself a moment breathing. And let's think about the props we have. Maybe you're using a folded blanket. Maybe you're using a cushion from the bed, from the sofa. Maybe you're using a roller, a foam roller. So we may lift the hips and sway the hips over to the left a little bit. Have your prop. I'm going to use this big cushion here. It's called a bolster. It's a yoga bolster. Just a cushion. You might put the cushion over to the right or your folded blankets to the right and let the knees land on the prop. That's an option. How does your low back feel about this? Another option be to put the prop between your ankles and between your knees. How does that feel? We may want the right hand as kind of a weight on that left leg somewhere. We may be opening the left arm out to the left. Perhaps palm is facing up. You might prefer bend in elbow. You might want a lot of bend in the elbow, angling that left elbow up and overhead. Full breathing. So letting the hands come down, bolsters tend to have handles on the end. So you might grab the handle if you've got one, or just use your legs to bring the prop up if it's between the feet. Land the feet, lift the hips, slide them a little to that second side. So we're setting the prop up in the same way as available on the second side. So this side, the back just says, nope, that's not going to work. On that. We may be expanding that right arm to the right. Make any little shifts. Maybe you chose a lot of elbow bend or a little elbow bend. Breathing into those top ribs, the ceiling side ribs. Taking your time. Bringing the knees, the feet back to the middle. And maybe we just left the prop. Feet wide, knees tipping in. And let's take a moment, and maybe this is where you're ready to rest. You are welcome to stay here, resting on your back body. We might be sliding the hips to the left and tipping to the right so that we can bring ourselves up and set ourselves up for a supported rest position with props. So if you have a cushion, you can use that as a bolster. You can roll your mat up. You can use folded blankets. So you're choosing your prop. It could be a couple of blocks, maybe with some blankets or towels on top to soften their edges if they're hard blocks. So we may bring ourselves down so that the entire big spinal column is supported. Include your head in that. So sometimes, especially if we're rolling up a mat, we might need to plug another prop in, basically making the mat a little bit longer. So we want the chest to be lifted. The backs of the arms may drape towards the ground. The legs, they could be straight, they might be crossed. So if this is super intense, cross-legged for your hips, this is an option. It's an option to put props underneath the knees or underneath the thighs, or just straighten the legs. Feel the ribs widen with the inhale. Sighing, softening with the exhale. Let the eyes rest. Soften the space between the eyebrows. Slacken the jaw. We notice that the mind has wandered, returning perhaps to breath sounds, or perhaps noticing the temperature of the air as we inhale. We may notice the rhythm of our pulse in our fingerprints. We may follow the feeling of the pulse through the fingers, into the palms, the wrists. Where can we let go of a little more gripping? We may notice the rise of the belly with the inhale, the sinking of the belly with the exhale. We may deepen the breath, perhaps running the tongue across the fronts of the teeth. We may bring movement to fingers. We may bend elbows to circle wrists. We may reach the arms skyward and exhale, releasing. Consider placing the soles of the feet to the ground. We may sway the hips to one side and slowly, carefully roll off your prop to rest in a side lying position. There is no hurry. Pressing top hand into bottom hand, we may gradually, slowly support ourselves back to a seat. As we find that seat, we may connect the palms, rubbing them together with closed eyes, cupping or placing the hands over the eyes. Take a deep inhale, letting it go. We may reconnect the hands, rubbing the hands together. Place them over the heart. Full deep breath. Releasing. We may rub the hands together, placing the hands over the belly. Full breath. Letting it go. We may keep a hand on the belly, place a hand over the heart. Sealing our practice with sound. Deep inhale. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing this practice and for your patience with today's technical difficulties. Let's see, we have thank you, everyone. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, Ken. Thanks, Phyllis. Oops, here comes Astragalus. Hi, everyone. Over with the knees pulled. Oh, right. See you next time. Bye.